Hello, my name is Hector Velasquez and welcome to Hector's Shop. So today this is going to be the first of a few videos where we're going to be talking about the reel. Now, we got already a lot of questions from you guys and we've got a lot of great questions and I really appreciate it. We're going to start off with, first of all, going through the anatomy of what the reel is. And then on the videos after this, we're going to start answering some of those questions. But let's first get a basic understanding and a know-how on what a reel is and what it's made up of. Because that way, when I start talking about the reel and I start bringing out all that lingo, nomenclature, terminology, whatever you want to say, you know what we're talking about. So let's hurry up and get into it and we'll go over some of this stuff. So this is called a reel, or places in Europe, like Europe, they would call this a cylinder, which is what it's supposed to be. Each of these is a reel blade. Now, what's holding the blade in place is these discs right in the middle here. Sometimes we call those the spiders. And then the spiders are welded onto the shaft. So we have the shaft, we have the spiders that are holding the reel blades. Okay. Now, this twist that you see in the reel blades, we call that a helix. So these reel blades are on a helix. Okay. Now, when you look at the end of the reel, but when you look at the reel, if you notice, these blades are not exactly on here like straight up and down, right? They're welded at a little bit of an angle. We call that the rake of the blade. Okay, now some manufacturers may have more rake than others. All right, and that affects quality of cut. It affects how efficiently the reel operates. All right, at the end of each reel, you're gonna have, this is where the bearing would sit. So these are the bearing journals. You got one on that end, and then we have one on this end. Okay, and that's where these are machined surfaces where the bearings go. All right, now getting a little bit closer onto this reel, you got that thickness of the reel. I don't know if you can see that, but if you notice, like right here, there's a little dip. We call that a manufactured relief. In other words, they have taken the thickness of that blade and they thinned it out some in the manufacturing process. All right, so that's why that's called a milled relief. Now, this reel doesn't have it. I'll have to find, I was supposed to have a reel here today and we haven't gotten it yet. But, and I'm gonna see if I can get this one ground. I haven't gotten the opportunity to do that yet either. Anyways, moving on. When we grind a reel, we also grind a relief on that reel. So the first thing we would do is spin grind, and then we would come back and individually grind the back part of that blade, therefore thinning out that blade just a little bit more on that cutting edge. Now, all together, right, this is what we would call a reel or a cylinder. And that, my friend, is the anatomy of a reel. Okay. Now, in future videos, we're gonna start delving into the questions that you guys had concerning cutting unit, quality of cut. A lot of great questions, and we're gonna address all of them. I promise you. So, if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out here for you, do me a favor: hit that follow button, share it, like the video, comment if you have any more questions. We'll see you in the next one. Remember, keep those zerks greased.